Welcome inside the Acres Broadcast Center. I'm Tim Mulhelpt, and this is your Sports Nightly Ticker. It's a new week, Huskers fans, and we lead off with congratulations, which are in order for Nebraska men's basketball guard Keisei Tominaga, who will make his senior national team debut this week, this week, as he represents Japan in the FIBA World Cup Asian qualifying games. He and Team Japan will take on China this Thursday and Australia this Friday, both games due to the big time zone difference between here and Melbourne, Australia, where the games will take place. We'll make both of these games overnighters. So the game against China is at 3:30 a.m. this Thursday, and then Friday it's a game against Australia at 4:30 a.m. So if you are a devoted basketball fan and can find those broadcasts, those are the times they will be aired live. Further congratulations are in order to two newly crowned champions yesterday. First, in college baseball, Ole Miss won their first Men's College World Series in a 4-2 victory over Oklahoma yesterday afternoon. Then in the evening, the Colorado Avalanche in the NHL took down back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning in a 2-1 thriller, delivering the Avs their third Stanley Cup. Elsewhere in pro sports this evening, Major League Baseball, everything's about to get started or going to get started, so no current scores other than the Pirates and Nationals, who just had their first pitch. It's scoreless, of course, in that one. Yankees and Athletics will get started here in the Bronx in just a few moments. The Red Sox take on the Blue Jays at 6:07. Twins and Guardians meet at 6:10. At 6:45, it'll be the Marlins taking on the Cardinals. At 7:10, the Rangers battle the Royals. At 7:40, the Dodgers will tackle the Rockies and try to tackle the Rockies. The White Sox take on the Angels at 8:38. And at 9:10, the Orioles are out west battling the Mariners. In the NBA, right before the show, we had a whole news prompt typed up about the options presented to Kyrie Irving, as he has a Wednesday deadline. He had a Wednesday deadline to opt in to returning to the Brooklyn Nets on a one-year deal worth $36.5 million. There was a lot of rumors, a lot of reports that he was going to do everything else except that. And then right before the show, Kyrie Irving announced himself through multiple outlets that he has opted in and will return to the Brooklyn Nets for the upcoming season. That would put a lot of Brooklyn fans at ease, as both he and Kevin Durant were potentially going to leave if Kyrie left the Nets. So again, he did not want to leave that $36.5 million on the table. So I don't blame him. He's back with the Brooklyn Nets this upcoming season. And good luck to all participating in Wimbledon, which got underway today across the pond. That's the ticker. I'm Tim Mulhelpt, and this is Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
In motion is Brewington. They snap it back, fake the handoff, looking to throw. They flip it out the flat to Brewington, makes a catch. Touchdown, Nebraska. Well, that looked easy that time. Brewington came in motion, and instead of cutting down the block, kept out the flat, flipped it out to him for an easy 6 points. And Treese now sends a man in motion. They turn, they flip it off to McDuffie, trying to race to the edge. Gets around JoJo Doma, but can't get around Nick Henrich. He'll go down. He'll lose 3 yards, back to the 23-yard line. What a play by Nebraska. It's caught. Touchdown. Omar Manning. What a grab in the end zone, and the Huskers have 6 more points.
What a throw and catch. Yes.
Nice jitterbug move, and it bounced the outside 40 to the 50-yard line, to the 40, 30-yard line, 20. That's Grant, 15, 10, 5. He's in there. Touchdown, Anthony Grant, with an electrifying move to the line of scrimmage, scoots to the outside and dashes down the sideline.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. Welcome to another week of Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. Hope you had a great weekend. We're heading our way into a holiday weekend coming up with the 4th of July, and we welcome back Jessica Coody, who had a well-deserved break last week. How was your week? Did you miss Andrew and Tim and the gang?
I'm back. I missed you guys, and I love your kitchen cabinets, by the way.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm off-site tonight doing the program here. So did you get to play some golf? Did you get to have a little fun?
Hey, I told you, remember we went into this whole breakdown about how it depends on the flight that you get into, and I'll be darned if my dad and I didn't win our flight. So
nice.
Yes, we won the father-daughter golf tournament over the Father's Day weekend.
That's fantastic. Well, congratulations to you and your dad, and I'm sure it was a special Father's Day for him to be able to watch all of that. Jessica, as we were signing off on Thursday night's show, the draft was, about 8-9 picks into the first round, and we knew that it was probably going to be a late first, early second for Bryce McGowan's to go. He actually goes 40th in a pick that was Minnesota's. They had traded it to Charlotte, but I got to think he's ecstatic about going to Charlotte. He grew up in South Carolina. I got to think this is about the perfect team for Bryce to go to.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, a lot of young talent to build around there. And, you know, we heard Andrew talking quite a bit about, hey, depending on which NBA team does a good job with their G League, and Charlotte is one of those teams that have done a good job of developing in the G League. And, you know, I was reading up where somewhere maybe he might sign a contract where he could spend time in both, you know, on the NBA team, on the NBA roster, then also in the G League, and continue to grow and develop, which is what we talked about really from when we started seeing the projections that he might fall to the second league or the second round. It'd still be good for him to go because now the NBA is much better about developing talent. So I'm not surprised that, you know, he went in the second round, and that's probably where we'll see Bryce. But we've seen guys really be developed much better in that G League system here in the last 5 or so years. So probably that's where he'll spend a majority of his time the next year. But I think that's a young, up-and-coming franchise. There's a lot of excitement with LaMelo Ball. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a good spot and close to home. And he seems ecstatic about it. And just really cool to hear your name called no matter what. And he's going to get a shot. And knowing Bryce, he's going to go grind it out and work hard. And he was going to be a developmental project for any team that took him. But there's a lot of upside to him. And I think that's what Charlotte was banking on when they traded to go get him.
I'm sure he was disappointed not to go in the first. I was glad that he was there. I'm glad he was able to soak that in and be able to walk up on the stage and shake some hands and get the picture and get a little FaceTime on the national broadcast. That was really good for him, I think. And I, you know, now he's probably got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, too. He's like, okay, I need to show these guys that I should have been worthy of a first-round pick. I never hate that for guys that maybe come in with a little added motivation to build on what they've already done in their basketball life. So I think he's going to do just fine there. And then we did learn that brother Trey has signed a summer league free agent deal with the Clippers. He's going to go play in that Vegas league here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, how about Andrew already flipping his loyalties from the Lakers to the Clippers?
Well, we had Andrew break it down for us last week, and I said, give me a Big Ten player that you think is overrated. And he goes, Max Christie. Well, Christie then gets drafted by the Lakers, which is Andrew's team, and so now I think he's wiping his hands of those people.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, just that narrative, though, about he's leaving the building, by the way, right now. No, just that narrative of, you know, with the NBA that you got to be drafted in the first round to have any kind of securities or guarantees. And even with the NFL and being drafted as opposed to being an undrafted free agent, we see it year in and year out. The guys that aren't drafted or fall to the second round end up, you know, making a name for themselves. They just slip through the cracks, whether one way or another. And, you know, for Bryce, this is not a bad thing. And, you know, there's so many guys that go to in the second round that end up winning a NBA title. Draymond Green winning league MVPs, all of the above, that end up, you know, making a really good name for themselves in a really good position in the NBA. Just because you weren't, you know, you fell to the second round, this is not bad for Bryce. And I think, you know, for a lot of teams, you know, he was going to be a project, but he's got so many great tools to build upon. And I think he's only just scratching the surface. And, you know, I think if he goes and continues to work hard like he has been, how many times have we said how much he grew even just in the year that he played ball here at Nebraska in the Big Ten and getting stronger? And there are things that we saw improvements in his game in a year. I think we'll continue to see those improvements for Bryce.
Second straight year, a Husker goes in round 2. 3 of the last 4 years, Nebraska's had a draft pick. That's going to bode well for Fred Hoiberg when he's out on the recruiting trail, that he's been able to develop guys and get them into the league. And Bryce is the highest Husker drafted since Teron Lue, clear back in 1997. So some real honors for Bryce, and we wish him nothing but the best, and we'll continue to follow his journey as we move along.
By the way, Greg, I was disappointed the Thunder didn't go for him, but I do think he's in a better fit because the Thunder's roster now is loaded. Too many guys, not enough roster spots, not enough playing time. So it's going to be a little crowded for him in Oklahoma City. So I think he landed in a better spot, even though, you know, selfishly, I would have loved to see him be an OKC Thunder.
Yeah, we went around the table the other night and made our picks. I think Tim had him going 27th to the Heat Andrew 29th to the Grizzlies. I had him going to the Thunder with the 35th pick, but he goes to the 40th pick. All right, change gears here a little bit. Wow, what a Saturday with news for Husker football when Nuri Nwili sent out a social media text that said, "This spring I was informed by the NCAA that due to a failed drug test, I am ineligible for the 2022 season. I would like to apologize to my family, teammates, coaches, and Husker fans for my error in judgment. It is an honor to be a part of this football program and represent this university, and I do not take that responsibility lightly. I want to thank Coach Frost, our athletic and university administration, for allowing me to continue to be a part of this program. In the upcoming year, I look forward to returning to the field in 2023. Go Big Red." Scott Frost also put out a statement on Saturday and said, "We support Nuri. He is going to be with us all fall, just cannot play, and we look forward to getting him back." This was a shocker, Jessica. I'll be honest. I did not see this coming, and I've had people ask me, well, man, what kind of drug test? Probably performance enhancing. Doesn't say that in there, but that's got to be what it is to get a 1-year ban. So this hurts because Nuri was a returning starter and just a terrific young guy, but I think he can overcome this, and I think he will be back and maybe better than ever in 2023.
Yeah, it hurts, because, it was already on a line that was already a little thin, already had been battling some injuries and replacing, Cam Jurgens, and had some injuries in the spring. But yeah, I was shocked too, Greg, because I think if you and I would have built a list of guys that would have had to come out with a statement saying they were suspended for the season, for me, Nuri would be at the very bottom of that list. He would just not have been a guy that I would have expected, to hear this kind of news about. But he's a good kid, a good guy that, as he said, he made a mistake, and Coach Frost said he made a mistake. I absolutely agree with you. I think he'll come out on the other side of this better for it. What's heartbreaking to me is that he's suspended when, the team's going to Ireland, and he talked about his family for the first time are going to be able to fly over from Germany and get to see him play. So this will be really tough on him. But, knowing Nuri, I think this will, he'll be better for it in the end. He'll learn from it, he'll grow from it, and he'll be a better person, a better player. And, I think what was interesting for me about the statement is that it said he found out in the spring. So maybe he had found out, and maybe they were trying to negotiate, maybe appeal it. I don't know. What was your take on hearing in the spring? Is it still the springtime, or is it summer now?
No, it's now officially summer. That after you win your golf tournament, we kick it into summertime. But no, I think Nebraska did appeal, and they did not win the appeal, and that's why this is kind of stretched out for a couple of months. But I'm with you. I did not expect to see that thing at all. He would have been right, as you said, right near the bottom of the list of guys that I would think would be in this kind of predicament. But he's also a pretty mature young guy. I think he will be able to overcome this. But it does hurt in the short term. We're going to hear from Turner Corcoran here in just a couple of minutes. Thank goodness he's raring to go, because now he takes on even a more important role, I would think, and maybe a guy you look at that left guard spot. We all have thought leaving spring Nuri would probably be your left guard. Now you've got a vacancy there, and so it's really good news that Turner appears to be healthy, and he's going to tell us his story here in a couple of minutes. But, boy, getting Teddy and Turner back, pretty big now. There's going to be a lot of eyeballs on that position as we get into the camp here in about a month.
Absolutely. And with Turner being out in the spring, maybe they got in some guys that got some good work in the spring that they'll feel good about moving around. I don't know as much about Donovan Raiola, but I can guess that he probably wants these guys to be versatile, be able to move around a little bit. And so with some of those guys being hurt over the spring, maybe some of those younger guys got a chance to get some experience that now you can kind of plug some guys in the fall in Nuri's spot, move it around. But, yeah, that's definitely a key position that you didn't really want to lose anybody, and especially your second most proven, second most experienced guy. But, I guess the bright side for me is I was thinking about this is that with so many injuries in the spring, a lot of young guys got a lot of good reps being on that front line, being on that first rotation, that hopefully that will help as they move into fall camp with guys stepping in. You say, what is the saying? You reload or next man up. Hopefully some of those next man up. Hopefully some of those younger guys that got some good experience in the spring will be able to be that next man up.
Yeah, it's just heartbreaking when one of your favorites happens to, and I think for both you and I, Nuri's one of our favorites. All right, 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. Andrew's fired off a text. We'll answer that in the next segment. I mentioned Turner Corcoran coming up here in a couple of minutes. Had a chance to catch up with him here in the last week as he gets ready for yet another fall camp for the Big Red. We are 61 days away from kickoff. We're inside of 30 days from camp opening for the Big Red. We're inside of 30 days from Media Day in Indianapolis. We're going to get this 4th of July weekend behind us, and it is going to be go time for Husker football, so certainly looking forward to that. Coming up in hour number 2, Mitch Sherman of The Athletics going to be here. He was all over the College World Series. We'll get his take on that, and he also has a terrific piece up, and he said it was really near and dear to his heart. It goes back to the pipeline that Nebraska football had during the Bill Callahan era into the city of Phoenix, Arizona, spearheaded by Bill Bush, who now is back on staff for Scott Frost. They pulled about 5 guys in 1 year, all really good contributors to Husker football. Can't wait to dive into that with Mitch and see what he learned going back through the history books and pulling that out. That'll be coming up in the second hour of the program. Our Sports Auto Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, buy online at woodhouse.com. Jessica's in studio along with Tim and Cole. I think Andrew has left the building, but we'll be okay. We'll be able to survive, even though Andrew has walked out on the show tonight. Just kidding. I think he's still lurking around there.
He's here. He came back.
Yeah. And, you picked it, too, by the way. You had that Golden State win in 6. He was really glad you weren't around last week.
Oh, I know. That's why I had to text you and tell you to let him know about it, because he said if I would have been here, he wasn't going to come to work on Monday. But not only did I pick Golden State in 6, I also picked every game of the series correctly, too, if I do recall. So he was also salty about that, too. But, yeah, he thought he had me on the basketball picks, thought he was going to make up for some of his just absolute horrible performance in football picks, but that was not the case.
Well, we always have fun with Andrew around. All right, when we come back, we'll hear from Turner Corcoran, who's now kind of one of the older guys in this Husker offensive line room. Did not participate in spring practice because of some off-season surgery. We'll get an update on his health and his thoughts about the upcoming year. That's coming up next.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today we're tackling the issue of GMOs, or genetically modified organisms. GMOs may sound scary, but they're actually benefiting our environment and consumers. That's because GMO crops help solve specific problems like insects, food waste, and droughts. By selecting good traits from one plant or organism and adding them to another, farmers are safely using science to produce high-quality foods better than ever before. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. The university has a new undergraduate business and law major. Students majoring in business and law are learning to use legal knowledge to better solve business challenges. They are also gaining skills in regulatory compliance, financial services, securities regulation, and corporate social responsibility. Upon graduation, they will boost the state's talent pool in these critical areas of expertise.
Hey Huskers fans, this Friday, join us for another encore presentation of Sports Nightly. In this episode, we'll hear from Huskers women's basketball head coach Amy Williams. We'll also meet women's hoops new assistant coach Jessica Keller. We'll wrap up hour 1 with visits from new men's basketball transfer Emmanuel Bandamel and Huskers linebacker Nick Henrich. In hour 2, we'll talk with the voice of Huskers volleyball John Baylor, Nebraska QB Chuba Purdy, and wide receiver Trey Palmer will close out our show. Tune in to your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Visit the truck experts at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Blair for all your new Ram truck needs. From the most awarded light-duty truck in America, the 2022 Ram 1500, to the hardworking and capable 2022 Ram 2500, we have the truck to get the job done. Stop out for a test drive in Blair during the Make the Switch event or shop, finance, and buy online with eShop at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. the official foundation company of the Huskers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
Hey Huskers fans, this Friday, join us for another encore presentation of Sports Nightly. In this episode, we'll hear from Huskers women's basketball head coach Amy Williams. We'll also meet women's hoops new assistant coach Jessica Keller. We'll wrap up hour one with visits from new men's basketball transfer Emmanuel Bandamel and Huskers linebacker Nick Henrich. In hour two, we'll talk with the voice of Huskers volleyball John Baylor, Nebraska QB Chuba Purdy, and wide receiver Trey Palmer will close out our show. Tune in to your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
If there's one thing that you can count on every spring, it's that we're going to have to deal with some hail. J-Tech Construction is the company to call to make it right again. J-Tech Construction specializes in siding, roofing, windows, and gutters, even solar. They're trained for insurance claims assistance, and they can help with your insurance company. Turn to the team the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Use your favorite search engine to find J-Tech Construction online and schedule a free estimate today.
The Huskers provide the best on the field, and so does Kubota. The new Kubota L60 Limited Edition Series provides the best package for affordability, quality, and comfort, like the deluxe Grand L factory-installed cab or spacious open operator station. Maximize performance with Kubota's best-in-class HST Plus transmission and many other features of the L60 LE Series. Experience the Kubota difference. Visit NebraskaKubotaDealers.com or see Nebraska Equipment in Seward or Grand Kubota in Grand Island.
There's nothing better than the smoky aroma of grilled beef at the ballpark. This is Anne Marie with the Nebraska Beef Council reminding you to pick up a package of steaks or burgers for your next tailgate party. Whether you're setting up in the parking lot or cheering from home, nutritious beef is a home run choice when cheering on the Huskers. Visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com for delicious beef recipes, grilling tips, and tailgate inspirations. Beef, it's what's for dinner in Nebraska.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They're the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres Solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe Jessica Coody with you here on a Monday night, a new week, the last week of June. Where did June go? My goodness, it is completely gone. On our text line, Andrew in Norfolk are the Nebraska coaches. Going to go around to different cities around the state like they did last year and talk to Husker fans. I haven't heard anything about it. They're not, Andrew. Not this year. Jessica, that was one of your first assignments last year. You and I think you had Tyler Hildebrand with you last year.
Tyler Hildebrand and Coach Tuioti and Dave Ellis. That was my group. Yeah, that was fun. And we were on the flight with Armand Gates, and Bill Moose was on that flight as well. And, yeah, took a little small charter plane and flew way up North Nebraska. It was fun. I enjoyed it. But that's kind of an every other year deal, right? That they kind of really blow up. Yeah.
It's a big undertaking to do that like they did last year. They covered pretty much the entire map of the state. And I know the folks like it, but yeah, I think that Coach or Trev Alberts is kind of looking at an every other year deal for that. Andrew, appreciate the text. Again, 402-413-2400.
I do think that there's going to be a fan day that they're working on, right? Like they do in the stadium.
Yep.
That's being worked on for
we
kids.
don't have a date yet for that.
Yeah.
But it will be coming. And folks like that, I would guess the first week of August or maybe right there at the end of July. They usually do it pretty early in camp so that then the guys aren't distracted the rest of the way to get going. But yeah, we should have a date on that coming up here real soon. Well, I can't keep track of these guys and what year they're in class-wise after the COVID year. And so Turner Corcoran, I guess he's like a junior now, but I lose all track of that. Had a chance to catch up with him a couple of days ago to talk about his health and his thoughts about the upcoming season.
Joined now by Turner Corcoran, Husker junior, I guess. Now, I keep losing all this and all the COVID years and all that stuff. But first of all, let's start with how are you feeling? I mean, I know you weren't part of really a lot of the spring drills because of some off-season work done. How are you doing?
Feeling great. You know, our medical staff has done a really good job of getting me back onto the field. And, you know, right now I feel 100%. You know, I feel like I could be 110% here in another week. So
shoulder, correct, for you?
Yes. Yeah. So
you probably did. You play through a lot of last season with that issue?
Yeah. No, it was bothering me midway through the season. I don't remember what game or what week it really popped up, but you know, I kind of just had to do what I had to do, play football, and that's what I wanted to do.
Let's talk about the off season, because not only were you dealing with getting yourself healthy again, but you had to get used to a new coach.
Yeah.
How's that transition been?
It's been good. It's been really good. It went a lot better than I kind of expected to. Especially not being able to go out there and be able to play. You know, I kind of had to take more of a coaching role aspect of things kind of in the spring. Me and Teddy both, I thought we did a great job. I thought you did a really good job. Just being able to get the guys ready for spring practices and stuff. And then when we would run drills over the course of spring when coach would be out recruiting, you know, we would always be out there on the field, you know, doing some sort of drill work. And, you know, I think that this unit has come a long way, and I think we're going to turn some heads.
Turner, did the game look different to you kind of standing on the side and watching it than this being out in every
game?
drill?
Yeah, no, the spring game felt a lot different. The practices were a lot different because, you know, sitting back and taking a coaching aspect of things is a lot different field of view than it is for a player. And so, you know, I had to approach that differently. I had to get those guys right for certain plays, for certain defensive looks during the middle of practice, whether it was thrown at us before practice or during the middle of practice. But, you know, those guys handled adversity really well, and they played well with one another.
I've had players in the past that have told me that when they get hurt and they have to kind of step aside for a while, that when they come back, they think they're better because they see the game a little bit differently. Do you think that could happen for you?
I definitely think so. You know, I've had to take a step back and really view the game differently, and just see how other people view it and see how other people attack it. And, you know, that helps me be able to attack it the way I want to attack it. So,
how would you describe Coach Raiola's style? What kind of coach is he?
He's aggressive, but, you know, he's going to get to the point. He's brutally honest sometimes, but, you know, that's how you got to be in this business. You know, you can't sugarcoat things. And, you know, he attacks every day with a mindset that's ready to win games for Nebraska.
Is there more? Are you zone blocking more, less? What I mean, are we changing much of what we're doing with the approach up front?
I mean, there? We're just firing off the ball and playing football. I mean,
that's okay with the lineman, isn't it?
Yeah, no, just play football. That's kind of what he's reiterated to us. So
get after guys. All right, some different voices in the huddle now. I mean, there's some changes, particularly at the quarterback position, with some different people that have come into the program. How's that transition going?
For me, I haven't really been able to experience it firsthand because I wasn't in the huddle. I was kind of, you know, stepping back, taking a coaching role. But from what I've heard from the guys, that it's all good things. You know, those dudes sitting behind the center are taking control of the team, taking control of the unit, taking control of what needs to be taken control of.
You have played left, right. I think you can play guard. Some people thought maybe you could be a center at some point in time. And after seeing what Cam Jurgens did with his career, now off to the NFL, what do you like to do?
I just want to play football. It's pretty simple for me. I think if I get on the field, I can showcase what I need to do for whoever's watching. And I think a lot of dudes on this unit can do that. In particular, is we can play anywhere on the line. There's a lot of dudes that can play multiple positions on left or right side. And as soon as we roll the best five out there, that's what we're going to go with.
Do you have to reverse your brain a little bit if you get shifted from left to right? I mean, everything's kind of the opposite, right?
Yeah. No, last year when I switched over to right side for the Northwestern game and the Michigan game, I kind of had to do that a little bit. There was a few plays where I was kind of screwed up mentally. I was like, all right, that play got the best of me, but, you know, I kind of just played the next play.
Yeah. We're going to Europe.
How about that? That's going to be kind of cool, huh?
That's going to be really cool. I'm Irish. Corcoran's an Irish name. So, me and my family are super excited to be able to go and see our heritage firsthand. But, I think it's a cool experience for everybody on the team just to be able to go and see a new culture and then to also be able to play football. That's what we're there for, and that's the main goal.
Big game.
Football. Yeah.
Main conference game, you guys put it on them pretty good. They're probably going to have that in the back of their mind when they line up for that one.
Definitely. I wouldn't put it past them. Northwestern's always been a really solid team. It doesn't matter what year it is, you can't underlook them. And, I think that going into this game, we're definitely not going to underlook these guys.
Let's talk about campus life for you. What's it been like being a student, and now you're one of the older guys on this team?
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit and tell everybody what you're studying and what your kind of goals for the future are.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that you said I was one of the older guys. I haven't really thought of that one yet. Campus life, with COVID and everything, I've had to take a lot of classes online.
Yeah.
So really the in-person aspect really hasn't been there for me, which is okay. It's college. It's what I had to adapt to, and I'm okay with it. You got to keep going. You can't just take the punches and lay down. But I'm a criminology major with a business concentrate. But no, the reason I wanted to get into criminology is because my dad's a police officer. He was law enforcement in Olathe. He's retired now, but also growing up in Lawrence with my youth football teams and everything like that, those coaches were in law enforcement and had some sort of impact with that, and I've always looked up to them. They've been a great deal of, father figures in my life. So I always thought that those are the good dudes, and that's what I want to be.
Surprised at all? I mentioned Cam Jurgens earlier. Surprised at all he went as high as he did in the draft?
Not at all. Not at all. I remember having a conversation with this dude last summer. I think we were driving back from Aaron Graham's Lake, and we were sitting in the car talking, and I was like, dude, if you go put up some numbers this year and you go to the combine, you're going to put up more numbers, you're going to get on draft boards, and you're going to go high. And he's like, yeah, I just got to stay healthy and, get my snaps down. And that's what he did. And now he's playing football for the Eagles. And he's blocking Jordan Davis, that big dude from Georgia. So, I bet he's excited about that. And, he's an awesome guy. Talking to him, talking about the draft process, talking about all those interviews and everything. He's earned every little bit of it. He's a freak of nature, obviously, but he works really hard at what he does.
Does that motivate you to put yourself in that position in a year or two?
100%. 100%.
All right, Turner, I'll leave you with this. Last year, I thought we had a pretty good football team. We just couldn't make plays late, or something kept us from winning those weeks. What has to happen to change that this year to flip those results and put us on the good end of those scores?
Details. I think the details, it's the little things that matter when it comes down to football. It seemed like last year it was like a handful of plays that you could pick out that really affected the turnout of the game. And, if we eliminate those and we really iron out the details and the discipline, then we're going to be a really good football team this year.
There is Turner Corcoran back from his injury. Feels good. Should be good to go when camp opens here in about a month. Fun guy to talk to, Jessica. Did anything stand out to you in that interview?
Well, if you were just listening and didn't see, I did Travis Vokalek give him a pep talk about his hair. He's growing out a mohawk or a mullet to go along with those guys, or did you ask about that?
I did not ask about that. His isn't really well established yet. It may get there, but he's a ways behind some of those other guys.
It definitely looks like it's in its beginning stages.
Yeah.
But how about also again him bringing up? Well, I'm Irish, and so again we keep hearing these guys talking about their excitement to go to Ireland and play this football game over there.
And I think they are. I think they really, to a man, are really excited about making this trip over there. Obviously, they know they need to win the game as well. I was interested in his comment about playing for Coach Raiola now, because that group really liked Coach Austin. And I was nervous, Jessica. How would Coach Raiola be able to win them over? It sounds like that's gone pretty well.
Well, yeah, and even just the balance between when he was saying he's going to be brutally honest. He's not going to sugarcoat things. But I think that, to me, nowadays is the mark of a good coach, to where you can have the tough love, but then finding out a way to also put your arm around them and love on them. It's that balance between pushing and being hard on them, but then also, being that players coach type type of guy as well. And, that seems to me to be what kind of Coach Raiola is that balance between he's going to push you and he's going to get on you out on the field, but then he's also going to have some fun and love on you when you get off the field and be a guy that you can go to on non-football things. I also, when he was talking about, I just want to play football, he didn't really care what position he played. A lot of those guys do, want to be in a certain spot, feel the most comfortable in a certain spot, but he's like, wherever I need to play, I'll play there. Because he's a guy that Jeremiah has also said could play center and could be potentially pretty good at playing center. And we've seen him at tackle. Maybe he plays a guard. I don't know. Just so, again, a versatile guy that he doesn't care where he plays, but, maybe a guy that if you need to move some things around, depending on what you have available, that's good to have.
Great attitude, and certainly wish him nothing but the best. Hopefully he's good and healthy. That offensive line is going to be really fun to follow when we get into camp in late July. Nebraska 811 says go dig red before you dig. Always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. All right, phone lines, text lines open, 402-413-2400. More of the show coming up next.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown bar district.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up. Home. Drop off downtown bar district.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Huh. Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
Touchdown, Nebraska!
If you're doing business in Nebraska, the best way to connect your organization with the excitement surrounding the Huskers is through a partnership with Nebraska Athletics. You can take your business to the next level by reaching loyal Husker fans through in-venue signage, digital and social media, radio advertising, and more.
Got it!
Join the Husker team today and email partners@huskers.com to learn more about opportunities to connect with Husker Nation. That's partners@huskers.com.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid minerals with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blahorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today's topic, animal agriculture. There's been a lot of talk suggesting that giving up meat is good for the environment. However, livestock emissions only account for less than 4% of greenhouse gas emissions, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. Also, by reducing meat in your diet, you're missing out on all sorts of beneficial nutrients like protein, iron, and zinc. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
Husker fans. Get ready to be part of the excitement of the 2022-23 Nebraska women's basketball season by joining the season ticket waitlist today. The Huskers return all 5 starters from a team that won 24 games and advanced to the 2022 NCAA tournament. Make the first choice on the best seats to watch the Huskers in person at Pinnacle Bank Arena this year. Join the waitlist by July 31st at huskers.com/request list.
Hey Huskers fans, this Friday, join us for another encore presentation of Sports Nightly. In this episode, we'll hear from Huskers women's basketball head coach Amy Williams. We'll also meet women's hoops new assistant coach Jessica Keller. We'll wrap up hour 1 with visits from new men's basketball transfer Emmanuel Bandamel and Huskers linebacker Nick Henrich. In hour 2, we'll talk with the voice of Huskers volleyball John Baylor, Nebraska QB Chuba Purdy, and wide receiver Trey Palmer will close out our show. Tune in to your local affiliate or at huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown bar district.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up. Home. Drop off downtown bar district.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. 402-413-2400, the number if you want to dot us up with a comment or question. We started the hour talking about Husker basketball and Bryce McGowan's being selected last week in the second round of the NBA draft. Also wanted to mention that on Friday, Nebraska learned their Big Ten ACC Challenge opponent. It's going to be Boston College. They're going to be coming to Lincoln on November the 30th. We don't have a game time yet. Those will come later. But Boston College will be making their second visit to Pinnacle Bank Arena for the men. We're starting to get some of those tournaments and some of those matchups starting to leak out. We'll get a lot more even for some matchups for the women in their ACC Challenge, I think, in the coming weeks. So wanted to pass that along. Tim had this Jessica in the ticker. Keisha is going to be playing in that for that Japanese national team. What a cool honor for him. I'm going to put you in charge of that assignment. I am not awake at 3:30 or 4:30 in the morning.
I'll try to maybe get a nap in and drink a Red Bull and stay up and watch. Hey, I could not, tune away from those games when the 3-on-3 tournament was happening in the middle of the night. So maybe I'll just tap back into that when the Olympics were happening. But no, so cool for him. And, it was a big honor for him, and he's a big deal. Like, he's a star. I mean, you notice every time that Nebraska tweeted about Casey, it blew up. He's followed. He was a representative and the youngest on the 3-on-3 team back during the Olympics and gained a lot of kind of fame, I guess, during that time. And so, yeah, huge deal, and I know he's got a lot of fans and supporters over there in Japan. So it's always an honor. You hear it time and time again, no matter the sport, no matter what, whether it's at the Olympics, World Cup, the under-18 team, it's always special to put those colors, countries on where you're from and represent that country. And so it's got to be special for him to get to do it again.
It's in Melbourne, which is a long flight from Lincoln. He's going to be jet lagged for that thing. And I know a couple of Husker women just got back a couple weeks ago from heading home for a while, Jazz Shelley being one of those. That's a long way to go. I'm not sure I can handle that. I know going to Europe is one thing, but that's like an 8-hour flight. These are like 18 hours. I don't know that I could survive that.
Well, they're probably used to it. They've done it a few times and know that they're going home and then coming back. But yeah, it was cool that they got to work out because I know, we talked about it here quite a bit, just the NIL issues with foreign student athletes, and they cannot capitalize on it while they're here in the United States. But I know both Jazz and Izzy had some opportunities while they were at home, and that was important for them to be able to do that. So I'm sure they were really excited to get to do that. Hey, by the way, I can't believe how much progress has been made on this facility out here in the week since I've been gone, or 10 days since I've been gone.
Crazy. They were doing a lot of welding earlier today. I walked by them, and they were up on a lot more of the roof is going up on that thing. And I mean, we're 12 months out from that thing opening, so that they need to get the walls enclosed. I think it will be by the time we have a home kickoff the first week of September, and then they'll have all winter to do all the inside work, the electrical work inside, and then finish it up with the trimmings of the carpet and all the siding and all those type of things. So yeah, it's crazy how quickly that's going up. And man, those guys, and we had such a mild winter, Jessica, where they didn't have to miss many days during the winter to get some work done. We didn't have a lot of snow, so they were able to kind of work year round out there, and I think it's really helped them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the roof wasn't on while I was here, but there's parts of the building that's covered with a ceiling now. I don't think that was like that. And sure, right here, right close to our studio, I don't think that was as far along as what it is now, too. So, yeah, that's crazy. I mean, you get so used to seeing it every day, and even then you're impressed with the progress. But then when you're gone for 10 days and you come back, I'm blown away at how quickly that's moving along. But
great stuff.
As you said multiple
facility.
times, is now you get recruits on and they can actually see it, and that's a big selling point when you're giving these recruiting pitches. Is it's hard to maybe grasp it when you're just seeing it in pictures and renderings. But hey, now you can see that massive structure, and that hey, you're going to get to be developed into the player right over here in this building right here. You can kind of see it moving along. Definitely helps probably with the recruiting pitch.
And we talked last week on the program how there's some good momentum right now with the football program, and they picked up a couple of more commits in the last 7 to 10 days, and I think that structure is having a lot to do with it for football. The other sports are going to benefit from it as well, but football obviously the biggest because it's attached to the stadium, and that's where all the office space are going to be for all the coaches. But yeah, it's going to be incredible when they get that thing up and running. Hey, time to tell you to buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Need to slip in our final break, 402-413-2400. We're back to wrap up hour one next.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Momentum. It's building at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. With game-changing work in precision agriculture, nanoscience, and digital humanities. We're unlocking mysteries in brain research, solving the impossible with remote surgery using robots. And we're creating bold futures with world-leading research in early childhood education. We don't slow down, and we're not letting up. We are Nebraska.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Matt Moorhead or Joanne Shamanek in Lincoln or Scott Jeffers in McCook today.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Back here on Sports Nightly on a Monday night, just a couple more days left for you to be able to customize your own Husker football 3-game mini plan that's on sale to the end of the month. $180 is the ticket total. You get to choose a game from each of the months, either North Dakota or Georgia Southern in September, October either Indiana or Illinois, November either the Minnesota matchup or the Wisconsin game. Seating will be located in the north and south end zones. You do it, it's pretty simple. Go to visit huskers.com/tickets. You mix and match your own thing. It's a pretty simple thing to do. I got on the other day and kind of played around with it. So that was kind of fun to be able to do that. I didn't end up buying one, but I wanted to see how it worked. And it was very slick how that worked. But a couple more days left in that ticket plan. You know, also, Jessica, I don't know why I did this. The other day I Google searched flights going to Dublin, and they're like $1,100 round trip out of Omaha to Dublin. So if you're kind of thinking about maybe making that last second decision, $1,100 is not bad.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the prices are like when you get there, but it seems like you can find a pretty good deal, especially if you, look around. And I don't know. I'm not a flight expert by any means, but my cousin is, and there's certain times of the day and certain days that you'll look. Maybe you can find an even better deal. But I know there's lots of fun stuff to do out there, and once in a lifetime. I mean, who knows when the Huskers will ever play in Dublin again? So take advantage of it, especially with some of those restrictions being lifted now that you don't have to have a test to get back to the United States. So good time to do it. I did want to bring up in our chat, Adam Fellows said, keep the Nebraska football players interviews coming. Love hearing them. We still have several more, a few of those left. And then you also did quite a few interviews with the coaches. Any one coach interview that you were most excited about?
They were all really good. We're going to start rolling those out after the 4th of July, so looking forward to that. It's so much information and action-packed, but I thought they were all terrific, so we're going to get into that here in a couple weeks. And you're right, we still have a couple players left to get on. John in Omaha, our text line, just wants to know, Jessica, describe to everybody the best part of your golf game.
Well, I can hit from the ladies' tees and hit a good drive when, my dad uses my drives a lot. And I'm a pretty good putter, so he can get a good read off my putt. But anything in between, don't count on me for any of that.
Very good. So it's a scramble format, right?
Oh, yeah, it was a scramble. So we use my drives quite a bit because I can hit it pretty straight and far, especially off the ladies' tees to get quite a bit of an advantage, especially when my dad, he was playing from the Blues, I believe, and so I can pretty much outdrive him every time, being the advantage that I get, and then he gets to get a good read on my putt to see how it breaks and all of that, and so he usually, if he lines me up. He tells me where to hit it, and then if it doesn't go in, he a lot of times will knock it in. So he's a really good putter, really good putter.
Nice, John. Thanks for the text. Dennis wants to know, after this building is complete, will they be allowing public tours? I would guess so. I would guess before they hand it off to football and the other sports. My guess is they would probably offer a tour, but I don't have the tour.
They tour these facilities, so you'd think that they'd open it up and show it around over there. I know there's some secret things going on. Remember Brendan wouldn't give us all of the details when we had him on? So there's some groundbreaking stuff going in. I don't know about all of that, but I would think they would allow for fans to see some of it.
Dennis, we'll keep poking our nose around that, but I would assume that they're going to let some public tours happen before they hand the keys off to all athletics. Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance. Buy online at woodhouse.com. One of the books, but I want to go. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like home like Sapp Brothers. For 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and been a reliable partner to local farms and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment and welcoming guests into their travel centers. Visit www.sappbros.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
Visit the truck experts at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Blair for all your new Ram truck needs. From the most awarded light-duty truck in America, the 2022 Ram 1500, to the hardworking and capable 2022 Ram 2500, we have the truck to get the job done. Stop out for a test drive in Blair during the Make the Switch event, or shop, finance, and buy online with eShop at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com.
If there's one thing that you can count on every spring, it's that we're going to have to deal with some hail. J-Tech Construction is the company to call to make it right again. J-Tech Construction specializes in siding, roofing, windows, and gutters, even solar. They're trained for insurance claims assistance, and they can help with your insurance company. Turn to the team the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Use your favorite search engine to find J-Tech Construction online and schedule a free estimate today.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. But wait, he sees an opening. SOS! SOS, he screams and calls 391-2336. SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer. Boy, he made the right call today, as SOS is already on the way. SOS is your trustworthy company since 1950, and with Luxair, you get free 10-year labor warranty with the new system. Call 391-2336 or visit soshvac.com today.
Welcome inside the Acres Broadcast Center. I'm Tim Mulhelpt, and this is your Sports Nightly Ticker. Welcome back into Hour 2 of Sports Nightly, Huskers fans. And we lead off with a congratulations, which is in order for Keisei Tominaga, a men's basketball guard here at Nebraska, who will make his senior national team debut next week as he represents Japan in the FIBA World Cup Asian qualifying games. He and Team Japan will take on China this Thursday and Australia this Friday. Both games will be played in Melbourne, Australia, due to the massive time zone difference. Game times. Game 1 is against China is at 3:30 a.m. Central, while Friday's game will take place at 4:30 a.m. So you are the most dedicated Nebraska basketball fans or Team Japan fans if you're able to make those. So good luck to you. In other Huskers hoops news, Fred Hoiberg met with the media this morning, and he mentioned that new transfer guard Sam Griesel will have had he had successful surgery on a labrum injury back in March. They expect Griesel to be back on the court in mid-July. Hoiberg also mentioned that the general health of his roster is good, and that other than the rehabbing Griesel and Wilhelm Breidenbach, who are both rehabbing well, everybody else is a full participant in off-season workouts. Further congratulations are in order to the newly crowned champions yesterday. First, Ole Miss. They won their first ever Men's College World Series with a 4-2 victory over Oklahoma yesterday afternoon. Our own Jessica Coody was in the building for that and was not a fan of the outcome. Then, in the evening last night, the Colorado Avalanche took down the back-to-back no longer defending Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning in a 2-1 thriller, delivering the Avs their third Stanley Cup. Elsewhere in pro sports this evening, Major League Baseball has a number of games underway. The Yankees lead the A's 1-0 in the top of the third. The Pirates are up on the Nationals 1-0 in the bottom of the third. 4-0, the Blue Jays lead the Red Sox in the bottom of the third. Top of the fourth, 3-0, Twins lead the Guardians. And in the top of the second, it is the Cardinals holding a 1-0 advantage over the Marlins. Later tonight, the Rangers battle the Royals at 7:10. The Dodgers and Rockies face off at 7:40. The White Sox meet the Angels at 8:38. And the Orioles meet the Mariners at 9:10 p.m. Right before the show tonight in the NBA, star point guard Kyrie Irving announced that he is opting in to return for the final year of his contract with the Brooklyn Nets, worth $36.5 million. There had been an ongoing game of chicken between Irving and the Nets. Irving had been pushing for a long-term deal or else looking elsewhere to try to facilitate a sign-and-trade. That did not happen, as Irving had till Wednesday but chose today to opt in for the upcoming season with the Nets. It was rumored that had he been dealt or left the Nets and opted out, Kevin Durant would have also demanded a trade. So for now, at least, Brooklyn dodges a bullet. We'll see how long the relationship between them and Kyrie Irving lasts into next season. Also, good luck to all participating in Wimbledon in tennis, which got underway across the pond earlier today. That's the ticker. I'm Tim Mulhelpt, and this is Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
In motion is Brewington. They snap it back, fake the handoff, looking to throw. They flip it out the flat to Brewington, makes a catch. Touchdown, Nebraska. Well, that looked easy that time. Brewington came in motion, and instead of cutting down the block, kept out the flat, flipped it out to him for an easy 6 points. And Treese now sends a man in motion. They turn, they flip it off to McDuffie, trying to race to the edge. Gets around JoJo Doma, but can't get around Nick Henrich. He'll go down. He'll lose 3 yards back to the 23-yard line. What a play by Nebraska. It's caught. Touchdown. Omar Manning. What a grab in the end zone. And the Huskers have 6 more points.
What a throw and catch. Yes.
Nice jitterbug move, and it bouncing the outside 40 to the 50-yard line to the 40, 30-yard line, 20. That's Grant, 15, 10, 5. He's in there. Touchdown, Anthony Grant with an electrifying move at the line of scrimmage. Scoots to the outside and dashes down the sideline.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are back with hour number 2 of our Monday night show. Thank you so much for spending some of your time with us. Hope you had a great weekend. Weather was pretty good over the weekend, and we got a 4th of July holiday just 1 week away. Boy, Lincoln's going to be lit here in a few days. All the fireworks going off. Beware dogs, right, Jessica? They do not like all the fireworks.
Yeah, we talked about that. That was one of the first things you told me when I started is, hey, it gets a little loud around here. Nobody does fireworks like Lincoln. And if your dogs are sensitive to it, you might need to go get them something to help them cope with it. And so I'll make sure that we are ready for that. Because I feel like it starts like Thursday. It's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
I don't know that Andrew has experienced 4th of July yet. He's going to be wowed, I think, by how much noise
I did
there
get
is.
sunburned, though, yesterday. You mentioned it. It was beautiful, but I did get sunburned.
Yeah, but at least the temperatures dropped out of the 90s. Man, I was up there a week ago Saturday at the College World Series, and I think I lost some weight. I'm not a sweater like Jeremiah, but I lost some weight that day. It was really hot for that. You guys are being cruel because you know how much I like to talk about food. I was listening to you guys during the break. You're talking about pizzas. What are you trying to hurt me here? What's going on?
I know. Pizza always sounds good to me, too. So, I don't know. I got in on the tail end of it, and Tim brings up about pizzas and how they call them pies. And Andrew and Cole, I guess, had never heard of pizza being called pies. So,
of course they are.
I mean, I said that's kind of a New York thing. Like, for me, if you say, where's the pie? I'm thinking, like, apple, pecan, pumpkin. But I have heard of pizzas being called pies.
Yeah. Well, I think even some pizza places use pie in their name. If you go Google some pizza joints, you'll find that. So we just got to get the boys more cultured and get them caught up on that. I bet our audience has heard of pizza being referred to as pies. I would guarantee that.
It's just not my first reaction when you say, hey, let's get some pies. I'm kind of with Andrew. I mean, I knew what a pie was in reference to a pizza. But if you're saying, let's go get some pies, I'm thinking dessert, not pizza.
Very good. Do want to remind folks that tickets go on sale tomorrow for the red-white volleyball scrimmage. It has been set for Saturday, August the 20th, 6 o'clock at the Devaney Center. Those tickets probably won't last very long. There's going to be a lot of anticipation. We had JB on with us a couple of weeks ago, and he's pretty convinced they're going to be the #1 team in the country in the preseason poll. But tomorrow morning, tickets go on sale for that red-white scrimmage. It is Saturday, August the 20th, 6 o'clock at the Devaney Center. So put that on your calendar. Make yourself a little note. And get on that phone number, get on the website, get you some tickets bought for that. You were up at the College World Series, as Tim referenced. I love the storylines of this year's College World Series, and we're going to get into this more with Mitch Sherman here in a little bit, that you had some newbies. I mean, Oklahoma hadn't been there in 10 years. Ole Miss had never won the College World Series.
They had never won a title in men's sports, period, until yesterday.
I think they won a couple football titles back in the 60s when they were spreading out football titles to everybody. But
if you Wikipedia it, they won one women's golf national title last year. Like, officially. Like, I don't know. Is it the AP title?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Michigan State lists about 5 national football championships in the 50s and 60s, so they were handing them out like candy back then. But I'm happy for them. That's one of the best environments in the country for college baseball is Ole Miss Stadium. Those folks came in droves. They took over Omaha. They won the Jello Shot Challenge by a wide margin, and what a cool deal that ended up being with the owner of that establishment in Omaha donating money back to the community's food banks. So I think that was a pretty cool deal that they were able to do with the Jello shots. But I thought it was a really good couple of weeks. Congrats to everybody. A lot of hard work goes into that. And you know what, Jessica? They didn't have one rain delay. That's like amazing this time of year. They didn't get stopped by a thunderstorm at some point in time.
Yeah, I mean, the crowd was incredible yesterday. We were listening to the XM broadcast of it driving back to Nebraska from Oklahoma on Saturday. And Kevin Kugler was saying, I mean, it is 80-20 Ole Miss fans compared to Oklahoma. And when we got there yesterday, I think that was even too much. I thought it was about 90-10. I was blown away at the number of Ole Miss fans that turned out. And I heard that Arkansas was the same way. And it just, my dad is an Oklahoma fan. I mean, he's now both. He in fact, actually saw this when I went down there this last time. He got a special license plate made that has an N/OU on it. So, they are all in for me at Nebraska. I'm all in Nebraska, but he's still an OU fan and supports OU. And he was mentioning, as an OU fan, how crazy that's going to be. Like Oklahoma might be in for a little bit of a shocker, thinking, the kind of atmospheres that they think that they provide in Norman doesn't actually really compare at all to what the SEC provides. And that was very much proof of that yesterday, especially in baseball. The fact that how Ole Miss showed up and they had all kinds of cheers. I thought we were at a softball game. They're like, throw it in the dirt. It was all kinds of things going on, and they were it was a fun atmosphere to be a part of. And, I think that might be a wake-up call for some Sooner fans, thinking that the atmospheres that they provide in Norman, I don't know if they really come close to some of those in the SEC right now.
No, and that will be, I think, a kind of a rude awakening for them in a couple of years when they make that conversion over to the SEC. But Ole Miss has long celebrated and supported their program. And what a cool thing that state has now won back-to-back titles. To have Mississippi State win it last year, now Ole Miss win it this year. That's crazy how that worked. Can you imagine here if it was a Nebraska, then a Creighton back-to-back win, or OU OSU, or KU K-State winning back-to-back titles. And Jessica, they were like the last team in the field. And I know UCLA on the men's side in hoops a year ago got to the Final Four. They didn't win it. But to be one of the last teams in a tournament and then to come win it, that's just pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also did want to bring up, too, Jack Mitchell retweeted a tweet talking about the NCAA Division I champions. Reddit College Football made a post about that this year. And so they put together a list, this committee, it's Sicko's committee of non-NCAA sports and events that won national titles. And so Nebraska did have a national title on this in broomball, but how about Kansas State winning meat judging, the national title in meat judging?
Yeah, that's probably right. K-State has never won a national title in any sport. I guess meat judging would be something.
Well, it's a non-NCAA sport. I did have to look up a few of these sports. Where is one? I got to find it real quick. Ultimate, but then there's table tennis, surfing, snowboarding, but where is this? Quiz Bowl. There is one that I had no idea, but I can't find it right now. Oh, League of Legends. League of Legends. Would you know what that is?
No clue.
It's an online gaming game.
Esport? One of the esports,
I
probably.
guess, yeah. So League of Legends champion. So, yeah, there's all kinds of water skiing, taekwondo, rodeo, of course, drone racing. How about that? Georgia Tech took it home, the title in drone racing.
All those engineers, Georgia Tech. Dale in Hastings on our text line said, pizza pie is not new to me. So there you go. Dale is all over that pizza.
We have some people in the text that call it za, which I've heard that as well.
Yeah.
Za. Yeah. That was Children of the Corn. He's back on the show, and he said, he calls it za.
Very cool. Very good. Keep them coming, folks. Our text line is open. Also, our chat room and a YouTube channel is open for you as well. Time to tell you have a few more days left to customize a Husker football 3-game mini plan on sale now for only $180 for a ticket. You can choose from one game in each of 3 groups. In September, pick either Georgia Southern or North Dakota. In October, get the Indiana or Illinois matchup. And in November, it's either Minnesota or Wisconsin. Seating located in the north and south end zones. Visit Huskers.com/tickets. So a couple more days left of that. And that's a great way to get yourself into the stadium. Maybe you can't afford, with all this inflation going on around us, maybe you can't afford a full season ticket pack. Maybe you can't get away from work. Maybe you work a lot of weekends and can't get 7 Saturdays off. This would be a great way for you to come and support Husker football and get inside the stadium. All right, need to take a break. When we come back, Mitch Sherman of The Athletic will talk about the College World Series, which he covered recently, and also a pretty cool piece that he did about a week ago about a pipeline to Phoenix for Husker football back during the Bill Callahan era that was spearheaded by Bill Bush. We're going to hear all that coming up next.
Visit the truck experts at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Blair for all your new Ram truck needs. From the most awarded light-duty truck in America, the 2022 Ram 1500, To the hardworking and capable 2022 Ram 2500, we have the truck to get the job done. Stop out for a test drive in Blair during the Make the Switch event, or shop, finance, and buy online with eShop at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska's new collaborative biosecurity lab is leading research to safeguard America's food supply against growing threats, in partnership with the U.S. Departments of Defense and Homeland Security. The lab brings together world-leading expertise in agriculture and a deep understanding of the complexities of strategic deterrence across the threat spectrum and in multiple domains.
Hey Huskers fans, this Friday, join us for another encore presentation of Sports Nightly. In this episode, we'll hear from Huskers women's basketball head coach Amy Williams. We'll also meet women's hoops new assistant coach Jessica Keller. We'll wrap up Hour 1 with visits from new men's basketball transfer Emmanuel Bandamel and Huskers linebacker Nick Henrich. In Hour 2, we'll talk with the voice of Huskers volleyball John Baylor, Nebraska QB Chuba Purdy, and wide receiver Trey Palmer will close out our show. Tune in to your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red!
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Did you ever buy something and get more than you expected? Emeritus offers insurance, employee benefits, and financial services, but we deliver so much more. The comfort of a human voice when you need it, the confidence of flashing a beautiful smile, the relief that your family can keep living the life they love, the serenity of knowing you've planned well and can enjoy life. That's what we really deliver. We call it fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services, and much more.
You always dreamed of owning your own farm. Now you're living your dream, and it's time to pick the tractor that makes it all come together. Massey Ferguson has reinvented what compact and utility tractors can be and redefined what they do, making them easier to operate, more comfortable to drive, more versatile than ever. Massey Ferguson gives Nebraska farmers the power and performance to win in the field. Kearney Equipment, Kearney, Nebraska, your big red Massey Ferguson dealer in central Nebraska.
When you're a sports fan, it's kind of like having a new love interest. You want to know all about them. Only instead of learning about someone's third-grade crush, you want to know the latest scores, stats, and lineups. To get that, you need Cox Internet. Cox gives you that window to look deeply into your beloved team's soul, not to mention their injury list. Cox, we're sports 24/7. Learn more at cox.com/sports.
From sprains and stitches to sore throats and sinus infections. When it's care that can't wait, count on CHI Health Clinic Priority Care. Simply walk in 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You'll get the quality care you need without an appointment, and you'll never pay more than a regular primary care visit. Get in, get out, and get on with your day. Find a location near you at chihealth.com/prioritycare.
Everyone knows that Dakota Mac is known for their great rates on long-term fixed ag real estate loans. But just how long-term are they? Well, even longer term than your first ride on the Gravitron at the county fair. And even longer term than the line to buy the corn dog you definitely shouldn't have eaten before you got on the Gravitron. Oof, so long-term.
Hi, it's Boyd Benry from Dakota Mac. Give me a call at 402-463-4637 to learn all about our competitive rates on 30-year fixed-rate loans.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center. It's sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Well, the college baseball season now in the books. Ole Miss wrapped it up yesterday. They win that final series 2-0, so no game tonight. And the Rebels win their first ever national title in baseball. Mitch Sherman from The Athletic was there for a good chunk of the CWS. Give me some takeaways. I mean, it's always kind of cool to see somebody win it for the first time, isn't it?
Yeah, we had that last year with Mississippi State, and then Ole Miss. I think the rival, they got fired up. At least once Ole Miss got into the postseason, it got fired up. It was one of those years at the College World Series, maybe somewhat reminiscent of like Fresno State way back in 2008, where the Bulldogs were a 4 seed in a regional, an underdog all the way through, and then came to Omaha, caught fire, kind of a magical run. A little bit like that with Ole Miss and throughout the entire NCAA tournament. The last at-large team in, but really there are not Cinderella stories out of the SEC, which is something that I had to continue to remind myself as Ole Miss looked like the best team in the country. And I think at the end of this season, that's what it was playing like, despite having a 7-14 record in SEC play at the start of May.
Were you surprised by the fan disparity between Ole Miss and Oklahoma? I know it probably means a lot more to Ole Miss. There's the SEC slogan for you. But, man, it just didn't seem like there were a lot of Sooner fans that made the trip up here.
Yeah, geographically speaking, you would have expected more from Oklahoma. The Sooner fans just got to celebrate a softball championship much closer to home. Not to say that any of this is old hat, but they've had their share of success in various sports. This was a new thing, really a new thing for Ole Miss. And that SEC culture, what SEC programs do, there's just such a history of following their programs to Omaha. If it had been switched, if the brackets had been switched and you had Ole Miss against Arkansas in the finals, I mean, it might have cost $1,000 to get into the ballpark for the worst seat in the stadium. But I think the fan representation would have been much more split. A year ago, it was like that with, it was like Ole Miss's fan support this weekend was like what Mississippi State brought a year ago. So seeing all of that maroon in the stands in 2021, I was not surprised at all with what Ole Miss, the way that its fans represented in Omaha. And they were here all week. It wasn't like they just showed up with 20,000 for the championship series on Saturday afternoon. They were here from that first game that the Rebels played. So credit to them. That's definitely an SEC thing, and Oklahoma probably ought to get used to it because the Sooners are headed right into that SEC footprint very soon.
Mitch, how do you explain all the offense all of a sudden now at Charles Schwab Field? I mean, first couple of years that thing was open, nothing went over the wall. Now it's like kind of routine.
Yeah, I think it's a variety of things, Greg. The players have adjusted. Players are bigger. I think trends in Major League Baseball have a tendency to trickle down to the college level. And, you see more home runs, more strikeouts in recent years in professional baseball. And that's the way that kids grow up playing the game, for better or worse. They're taking big swings. Pitchers are throwing harder, so balls are going to be hit farther. And then another part of it, that I think you've witnessed at the Big Ten level in covering Nebraska, is that you have this COVID year built in. So everybody got a free season in 2020. Players, on average, at least those who were around a couple of years ago, they're a year older. So the hitters are older, they're bigger, they swing harder. And then the other thing is, as I said, just the evolution of the game toward, more long balls.
Yeah, well, certainly fun. Great 10 days. Congrats to Mecca for putting on another good show up in Omaha, and we look forward to next June when everybody comes back to convene at the College World Series. We're visiting Mitch Sherman of The Athletic, and you put up a piece a week or 10 days ago that was really fascinating, Mitch. It was about Husker football recruiting in the Bill Callahan era, which was spurred by Bill Bush, who's now back on the staff for Scott Frost, where they really dug into the Phoenix area and got a batch of players. Tell me about the piece, and why did this mean something to you?
Yeah, well, I decided to write it because of Bill Bush and because he's back on the staff for Scott Frost as a full-time assistant and displaying his recruiting touch. We've seen it already just in the 6 or 7 months that he's been officially a part of this staff. He's doing work with the special teams players. And then you see him going into Kansas City, which has been an area that Nebraska has long wanted to improve its standing. He's doing work there, much like, or I think the hope for Bill Bush and for this Nebraska staff is that the work that he can do in Kansas City or St. Louis or some other nearby metropolitan areas is similar to what Bill Bush did in Phoenix with the recruiting class of 2007. So this piece, as you mentioned, meant something extra to me, Greg, because in 2007, I was a young reporter at the Omaha World Herald. I went to spring training that year. You can probably guess why I was at spring training in Surprise, Arizona in 2007. That was Alex Gordon's rookie year with the Royals. He was 2 years removed from being the National Player of the Year with the Huskers on a College World Series team. So definitely still very much in the minds of Nebraska fans, as he is today, being a Lincoln Southeast graduate and a Nebraska alum. So I went to the Phoenix area primarily to report on Alex ahead of his rookie season. And while I was there, I said, hey, Nebraska just signed these 5 kids from Phoenix a month ago. It was March of 2007. They had signed in February. I'm going to go meet these guys and write a football story while I'm here too. So I met Javario Burks at Moon Valley High School. I met Eric Haig and Will Yancey at Ironwood High School. I met Prince Amukamara at Apollo High School in Glendale. I did not meet Marcel Jones on that trip. I didn't make it to his school, but got to talk to him for this article. We got to see Marcel Jones as a 2-year starter at Nebraska on the offensive line and then go play in the NFL. We got to see Prince Amukamara, of course, as a standout defensive player. Same with Eric Haig. Prince was the last first-round pick from Nebraska and is still working to remain in the NFL. So I wanted to revisit this story because of who these guys were, because of how different their stories were through their Nebraska careers and, of course, after their Nebraska careers. And then, the tragic part of this is that in 2020, Javario Burks passed away. He had suffered a brain aneurysm, likely related to health problems that predate even his time at Nebraska. And Javario was the focus of this piece that I wrote. He was the 5-star kind of guy. I mean, I think he had 4 stars, but he was the player who everyone on that Nebraska staff, Bill Callahan included, the other players included, looked at as the surefire NFL first-rounder, not necessarily Prince. And Javario had issues with his kidneys when he was at Nebraska. The coaching change after 1 year, while it certainly benefited Amukamara and Eric Haig, and you could say Marcel Jones because of how his career went, it wasn't good for Javario. He had great relationships with Bill Bush and with Danny Wagner, the offensive line coach, who was from the same hometown as Javario's high school coach, a small town in Iowa. So, things just didn't go well for Javario after that coaching change. He had more health issues, and ultimately his career ended pretty quickly in Lincoln. And, this was an opportunity to remember him, to look back at his life, and for those guys like Bill Bush and like Prince and Eric and Will and Marcel, to honor him a little bit in remembering what an incredible story Javario by himself was, even without the other 4 who Bill Bush signed out of Phoenix 15 years ago.
Again, visiting with Mitch Sherman of The Athletic. He's got a terrific piece up on The Athletic about this era of Husker football and Bill Bush's influence on that class. Javario was like the gold gem of that class. How big a key was Eric Haig for that class?
Bill Bush told me a great story when I was reporting this piece about Eric Haig. He was maybe the least heralded of the 5 as far as his recruiting profile. obviously had offers, had Power 5 offers, but it wasn't like Javario or Prince where he had USC and Florida State and Tennessee and Georgia, flying into Phoenix to see him. And there was a period of time in that recruiting, as that recruiting class came together for Nebraska during the 06 season. And this was a good season in 06 for Nebraska, 9 wins, where, they had to come to a decision about whether to keep that offer out there for Eric Haig. Spots fill. And if you've got a player at the position, you may no longer have an offer for somebody who's had that opportunity to commit for a number of weeks or months. And Bill Busch talked about standing on the table. And I think that was a figure of speech, although I'm not entirely sure. He may have actually stood on the table and pushed for Eric Haig to maintain his spot as a player who could commit to the Huskers in that class. And he said Dave Kennedy, the strength coach at Nebraska at the time, had his back. And he remembers Dave Kennedy watching the film of Eric Haig, who was a receiver probably before he was a defensive player in high school, and also standing up for Eric and saying, no, this is a guy that we need. This is a guy that we can turn into a big-time player on our defense. And as it turned out, he came to Nebraska. He was the first to commit of the 5. He committed while on his visit in Bill Callahan's office the weekend of the Colorado game in 2006. And, he flourished in Bo and Carl Pelini's system and for Marvin Sanders as a defensive back. You remember Eric Haig in the 09, 2010, 11 seasons as just a beast in the middle of that defense, playing the nickel spot. Not all that much different, although a smaller guy than JoJo Doman and what he's done for Nebraska the past couple seasons.
Yeah, Haig was maybe my favorite guy on that whole team, and that's saying a lot with Prince, and then if Alfonso Dennard came in there later. The paths of these guys, Mitch, unfortunately for some of them wasn't very good after football ended, was it?
Well, Eric had all kinds of struggles after football too, and talking to him, I did not know about any of that. And we got on the phone and we talked about Javario, we talked about Prince, we talked about Bill Busch and Eric's recruitment. And he was a high school teammate, as I mentioned, of Will Yancey, a defensive end who had health issues, just regular football injury issues. It was a shoulder for Yancey, and he gave up football pretty quick in his time at Nebraska. And he's gone on to be successful in life. So it was good it may have been the first time I talked to Will Yancey since I reported that piece back in 2007, but I got on the phone with him. Eric, after we talked about all of that other stuff, told me about his path in life. And he went to the Cleveland Browns as a 7th-round pick, and he struggled with some depression and some mental health issues, and ended up becoming an alcoholic, and had addiction issues through much of his 20s. And Eric has been in and out of that lifestyle, or he was in and out of that lifestyle until about 15 months ago, when he became sober. He has gone into business with a group in Phoenix to open a gym called Barbell Saves, and they work entirely with recovering addicts to teach them about the importance of living a healthy lifestyle, about incorporating weight training and physical conditioning into their lives, to help keep them on the right path. So, Eric is just a great guy. And I remember that from his time at Nebraska. He was tight with that group that included Roy Halou, who was also in that class. Niles Paul was in that class. Those guys, like Blake Lawrence and Adi Kunalik, who we know well in Lincoln with their business ventures and all of the success that they've had in life after football. Those guys were in that class, and they all remember Eric Haig so fondly. So while it's tough to see the struggles that he went through in his life, he's doing well now, and he's really found something that he can sink his energy into, to not just help himself, but to help a lot of other people who are going through some of the struggles that he went through in his life.
Well, congratulations. It's a fascinating read and a lot of stuff that I did not know about those guys in that era of Husker football, but they were all such big contributors to some really good Husker football teams. Well, Mitch, we're kind of in the abyss, right? College World Series over. We're a month or so away from media days and camps opening. As a writer, do you like this next month or do you loathe it?
I like it today on a Monday when I'm 24 hours removed from the College World Series and I can kind of go back to my summer schedule. But, you know, you never say never. There's always news. You know, we had news in recruiting last week with Nebraska and the big commitment of Maverick Noonan. So the Huskers are finishing up the month of June. And, you know, I think they'll get some more work done on the recruiting trail this week before they get into July and things quiet down a little bit. But July 26th and Big Ten Media Days in Indy is going to be here before we know it. And I think August 27th and that kickoff in Dublin is going to be here before we know it too. I'm going to try to enjoy myself and you know, not work quite as hard as I do from August through January. But I don't know if that's really an attainable task with college sports and college football these days. It seems to be almost a 52-week a year endeavor.
Very good. Mitch, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. Enjoy some downtime.
Yeah, thanks, Greg.
There he is, Mitch Sherman of The Athletic. Terrific piece on that era of Husker football recruiting back in the late 2000s with Bill Bush at the very center of all of that. He joined us on our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first, 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, buy online at woodhouse.com. 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. Jessica will rejoin me next.
The game isn't just about winning or losing. It's about the snacks they share after they've used up all their energy in the field. It's the early morning practice before school and staying late after to get a couple more kicks in. It's the pride they feel for their team and the determination to always keep improving. Sure, the game isn't always about winning or losing, but when they've won the big game and celebration is in full swing, there's only one thing left for you to do. Get them home safe. Buckle up and back. Paid for by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The 2022 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need you in Memorial Stadium this fall. A customizable Husker football 3-game mini plan is on sale now for only $180. To purchase your 2022 Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111. Go Big Red.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Huskers, do you want a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding? Explore the many ways you can be a part of the insurance community. Go to iian.org/careers today. Business insurance is a lot to manage. Did you know a trusted choice independent insurance agent can help guide you through it at no extra cost to you? They'll do your insurance. You just do you. Find out more at trustedchoice.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey Huskers fans, this Friday, join us for another encore presentation of Sports Nightly. In this episode, we'll hear from Huskers women's basketball head coach Amy Williams. We'll also meet women's hoops new assistant coach Jessica Keller. We'll wrap up hour one with visits from new men's basketball transfer Emmanuel Bandamel and Huskers linebacker Nick Henrich. In hour two, we'll talk with the voice of Huskers volleyball John Baylor, Nebraska QB Chuba Purdy, and wide receiver Trey Palmer will close out our show. Tune in to your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Visit the truck experts at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Blair for all your new Ram truck needs. From the most awarded light-duty truck in America, the 2022 Ram 1500, to the hardworking and capable 2022 Ram 2500, we have the truck to get the job done. Stop out for a test drive in Blair during the Make the Switch event or shop, finance, and buy online with eShop at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid minerals with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blahorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
At Great Western Bank, they are committed to your community. With all the local decisions and personal attention of a hometown community bank, they also have the convenience of a bigger bank. It's the best of both, so you can bank with your neighbors and your friends. Great Western Bank wishes all area teams a safe and successful season. Great Western Bank, member FDIC.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska researchers are designing the next generation of roadside steel barriers through an industry partnership with Trafix Devices. This partnership has produced the Delta Crash Cushion, a simplistic, effective way to keep drivers safe on highways. This barrier is vital for roadside safety and significantly improves the chances motorists will be able to walk away from roadside collisions.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe Jessica Coody with you here on a Monday night. I do want to take a second to talk about Marlon Briscoe, who was the first black starting quarterback in pro football. He played for the Broncos in the AFL before the merger of the AFL in the NFL. He died today at the age of 76. He was from Omaha, went to Omaha University, which is now UNO, terrific quarterback in college, got drafted by the Broncos in the 14th round as a DB. But Marlon said, I'm going to go back and teach unless you give me a shot to be the quarterback. And late in the first month of the season, he got inserted into the game and darn near rallied the Broncos to a win over the Patriots. He then ended up starting 5 games that season. He was the runner-up for the AFL Rookie of the Year. He passed for nearly 1,600 yards, 14 touchdowns, and rushed for 308 and 3 touchdowns. But then he was not given a chance to win the job in the next camp. And so he said, cut me. If you're not going to let me have a shot to be the starting quarterback, cut me. And he was. He ended up becoming a Pro Bowl wide receiver then for Buffalo, ended up going to Miami, won a couple of Super Bowl rings there. But he has the distinction, the honor of being the first black quarterback in professional football. And he was he was kind of in the middle of that great pipeline of black athletes from Omaha through that decade of the 1960s with Gale Sayers, Bob Gibson, Marlon, and then eventually Johnny Rodgers. And Johnny raves about Marlon and put out a nice tribute to him on social media today. So just wanted to recognize Marlon Briscoe, who needs to be put in the Hall of Fame, is what he needs to be done in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I hope that gets done in his time. But I know a lot of our folks in the Omaha Metro certainly remember a lot about Marlon Briscoe, a trailblazer, a trendsetter, and did a great job in Denver. And boy, you look back at that. How do you not give the guy a chance to start as your quarterback when he was darn near the Rookie of the Year in the AFL? That shows you kind of where things were in the 1960s, and hopefully we've come a long ways from that. So rest in peace, Marlon Briscoe, part of that great pipeline of athletes from Omaha in the 1960s. 402-413-2400. More people on the text line, Jessica. They sure call the pizza pie, so I think we've kind of got a consensus on that.
Yeah, I think Andrew and Cole were the only two that had never heard that before. So that kind of sparked up quite a bit of conversation. Hey, I had a question I was going to ask you. After the NBA draft, the Thunder now have 2 Jalen Williams on their roster.
How about that?
What would you do? What's your advice to the Thunder play-by-play guy?
You're going to need to give one of them a nickname. Maybe it's JW or something, and so you're going to have to do that. And I'm sure they probably will. They'll probably say, we got to try to figure this out so that everybody knows who we're talking about. But, yeah, they're going to. I saw that tweeted out the other day. They're going to have to figure something out with that. That would be a bit of a nightmare, wouldn't it, to have 2 guys with the same name? Probably will be on the court, I guess, a fair amount of time as well. That would be a tough one to be involved in that.
Especially for radio. For TV, it's one thing, but for radio, like, how are you going to know? You got to figure out, like you said, got to give somebody a nickname. And maybe they already have one, but that would not be fun to try to figure that. And there's like several Jalen's. I think we're probably talking about that same tweet. There's like multiple. There's 2 Williams. There's 2 Jalen's. So you got to navigate around all of that.
No doubt. You know, the draft, I don't know if you got a chance to see much of it, but it's so confusing to me, the NBA draft, because and Bryce got caught up in it too, because he was drafted by the Timberwolves, and yet that pick had already been given to the Hornets. That happened at least a half a dozen times Thursday night. That's confusing. That NBA's got to figure out a way to kind of clean that up. If you've traded the pick, let that team make the pick. That was confusing to me the other night.
Yeah, because they're picking on behalf of so-and-so, and yeah, it's just, okay, if you've, at that point, just let the team. There were a lot of people, and the analysts even got confused on some times. Like, Stephen A. was making just this big deal about the Knicks not getting a player, and then they couldn't even, the people that were doing the broadcast couldn't even figure out what had happened and who was going where, what team was getting which player. So, yeah, it definitely got confusing at times. And even at the end, people were like, well, what did the Knicks get? So, yeah, they definitely got to figure out a better way, especially when there's like multiple teams involved, to try to get that information out and make it clearer and cleaner and more concise of what's going on.
Tim in Minnesota said, enjoyed that piece, couldn't believe that. We got all those guys out of that Phoenix area. He said Roger Craig deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I couldn't agree more. He also said Roy Helu is probably one of his favorite Husker I-backs. Real quick, I went to a wedding in Omaha Friday, and Roy Helu officiated the wedding. Crazy. I didn't know he was doing that, but he and his wife, Danny, who was a terrific volleyball player here at Nebraska, Roy's up there and doing great. Looks really good. I told him I need to get him down to Lincoln, get him on the show sometime. So it was fun to see him. Time to tell you to buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. You need to slip in our final break. Back with our weekend winners coming up next.
Husker fans, get ready to be part of the excitement of the 2022-23 Nebraska women's basketball season by joining the season ticket waitlist today. The Huskers return all 5 starters from a team that won 24 games and advanced to the 2022 NCAA tournament. Make the first choice on the best seats to watch the Huskers in person at Pinnacle Bank Arena this year. Join the waitlist by July 31st at huskers.com/request list.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. the official foundation company of the Huskers.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like home like Sap Brothers. For 50 years, Sap Brothers has fueled America's heartland and been a reliable partner to local farms and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment, and welcoming guests into their travel centers. Visit www.sapbros.net. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Visit the truck experts at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Blair for all your new Ram truck needs. From the most awarded light-duty truck in America, the 2022 Ram 1500, to the hardworking and capable 2022 Ram 2500, we have the truck to get the job done. Stop out for a test drive in Blair during the Make the Switch event, or shop, finance, and buy online with eShop at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody, final few minutes of Sports Island before we get to our weekend winners. Mark, on our text line, this is for you, Jessica. What's the Thunder's end game with all these draft picks? I read they have like 35 picks coming up in the next few years.
It's ridiculous, and I think as Thunder fans, we were all thinking, what is he doing? He just keeps getting picks and picks and picks, and at some point you got to get players for it. But I think a lot of these players that are on this current roster are going to be gone. They have a young core now, some 3 players that they really like, and I think they'll try to use a good chunk of them and try and go get a big-time free agent at some point.
Very good. Buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Time for weekend winners. Tim left me his. Jack Johnson, a player with the Avalanche, drafted in 2005. Wow, 17 years ago. Played in over 1,000 games, but had never won a cup. So he raised the cup last night with Colorado. So Jack Johnson is Tim's winner. How about you?
So you guys, as Husker fans, have probably seen on our YouTube and social media channels, The Place, a new series that we've been doing. I've heard episode 3 in the works. It's going to be on Husker wrestling for Joseph, our fan in the chat room. So the big special coming out on him. But the main producer on that is Dalton Conrad. And congratulations to Dalton and his wife, Alyssa, welcoming their boy, Deacon James, over the weekend. 6 pounds, 14 ounces. He arrived on Saturday. So congratulations to Dalton and Alyssa, and welcome to the world, Deacon.
Fantastic. Congratulations to that family. Andrew's cheating. He's going with Bryce McGowan's. That actually happened on Thursday, but I'll let that slide. Bryce is his weekend winner. I'm going baseball. Jake Myers recalled by the Astros in the starting lineup all 3 games. The Astros over the weekend in their series with the Yankees. Good to have him back up with the Bigs. He had a couple of hits in Saturday's game. Our Sports Sunday Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance, buy online at woodhouse.com. That puts a wrap on tonight's show. Thanks to Cole, Andrew, Tim, Jessica, and all of you. We'll do it again tomorrow night. Good night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Visit the truck experts at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Blair for all your new Ram truck needs. From the most awarded light-duty truck in America, the 2022 Ram 1500, to the hardworking and capable 2022 Ram 2500, we have the truck to get the job done. Stop out for a test drive in Blair during the Make the Switch event, or shop, finance, and buy online with eShop at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy, from repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. During the summer of 2021, 3 UNL students helped safeguard cattle across the state. Neely Anderson, Tatiana Jones, and Ashton Commons developed secure beef supply plans that prevent the spread of disease outbreak. The plans protect nearly 850,000 cattle across our state and provide greater economic security for this vital industry.
Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go is mealtime made easy. Just order delicious meals online for convenient curbside pickup or have it delivered. Want breakfast? Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go. Need lunch? Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go. Doing dinner? Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go. Get pancakes, burgers, fried chicken, lasagna, Hai-Chai Asian dishes, sushi, pizza, and more. If you're craving it, Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go has it with curbside pickup or delivery.